Good afternoon. I hope your day has been well.
Good afternoon.
We are continuing with our lesson. Thank you for the greetings. We are continuing with our lesson and we are moving on from the two dimension. We are going to look at the 3-dimension artwork. But before we go to the 3-dimension, we have got 2 more videos to go through on our 2-dimension artwork. By now, you already know what 2-dimension artwork is about. And maybe we can remind ourselves, someone can unmute and tell us what 2D is. Anybody? Anyone to unmute and tell us what is 2D? And I hope my voice is audible. Good afternoon, Tupunya. I've seen your chat. No one wants to remind us what 2D artwork is all about? Okay. We looked at 2D and 3D, their differences. We looked at, I think, 5 videos or 4 videos on the same. I want us to wind up on the 2D artwork by going through the following 2 videos before we go to the 3-dimension. Or would you prefer you go through them on your own there on your LMS? We just start on the 3D. Okay, I guess we will progress from where we stopped now that no one is chatting me. I'll start presenting and I'll take you to Sorry for that. I thought I was presenting. We are continuing with the 2D. It's good we recap and finish the 2 videos now that people are not able to remember what we said about 2D. So watch and learn.
Hey guys, so this is a lesson that we are going to do on the simple and very basic two-dimensional shapes. So what I have done is I have pre-drawn 4 shapes, as you can see here, and we are going to try and figure out what are these various shapes called, and what are their properties. So I start off with this shape here. Okay, this shape which is basically enclosed by 3 sides. So this shape is called a triangle, right? Which comes from the word tri and angle, so it has 3 angles enclosed within it. So it's called a triangle, right? And any shape, any enclosed shape that has 3 sides is for sure a triangle. As we go to future lessons, you'll be able to see the various kinds of triangles. But for here, it is enough for you to know that any shape, any enclosed shape with 3 sides is a triangle, right? Then we will, see this figure mentioned here. Now, in this figure, what you will see is this the length of this side and the length of this side are equal, and the length of this side and this side are equal, right? So if I call this as 5 units, then this is also 5 units, and say this is, if it's 10 units, this is also 10 units. In such case, if you see a figure like this, it's a rectangle, right? So rectangle has 4 sides, and its opposite.
Keremi, your hand is up. Unmute and speak. Mati, Keremi, was it an error?
It was just an error.
Okay.
Sides are equal, right? Great. So after seeing the rectangle, now you can also see another figure here, which also has 4 sides, but it has a slight change in property. If I see, the various sides of this figure here, so I have side 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this figure, all 4 sides are equal. So in case if this is 5, then this is also 5, this is also 5, and the last one is also 5 units. So all sides are 5 units. In that case, the figure is a square, right? And a square, as being a rectangle, has 4 sides, but it has all sides as equal, right? So when all sides are equal, it's a square, and when opposite sides are equal, then it's a rectangle, right? And then we focus our attention to the last shape that we have here. Now, this shape has no sides, right? So in that case, the property of this shape is that, see, if I take the center here of this shape, and I start drawing lines to the end, here, or I draw it here, or I draw one here, or I draw one here, they're all equal, right? So this is 3 units, and this is also 3 units, this is also 3 units, this is also 3 units. If you draw any number of lines, from the center to the ends, it will be same. So in that case, if you have a figure which has no sides, and distance from the center to any of the ends is same, it's a circle, right? Circle. So circle has no sides and distance from center to the end is equal, right? So, we spent this lesson trying to understand the very basic two-dimensional shapes. I'm sure whenever you don't see any one of these shapes, you'll be able to identify which one is it, whether it's a square, a triangle, a rectangle, or a circle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I believe you've watched that particular video and you've learned something. We have our last video on the Tundi that I want us to watch before we get started on the 3D. So this is our last video on two-dimension artwork. And this is a demonstration. So watch carefully, learn, because from learning and understanding, observing, learning, understanding, then you'll be able to apply the knowledge you've learned later. Yeah, after this course, or even
normal. You don't have to draw a straight line because the wonky stuff is interesting. So I'll just start in that corner of the room with a vertical, right? Because I know I have a vertical. Now, the issue with it is that if I want to draw a little box or something like that, I no longer have lines that are parallel to the horizon line, like in a two-dimensional sense on the page. So if I want to draw like a cube, I have to make things recede to two different vanishing points on the horizon line, right? And then I cross them to find the back. And then I find the back one. So I found the front of the cube, the bottom plane, the connection side, and the top plane here.
She makes it seem so easy. And it's like you start putting your pencil on the paper.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing about learning. Until you try it and screw it up, you don't really like.
I had to watch videos when I was home. That's what I was. And then it click.
Yeah, exactly. You'll find a point where when you do these things, you're like, oh my god, I can fit anything on the page. And that is when you notice you have mastered the lesson, right? So for the room here, applied, you're not going to have vanishing points on the page, so you estimate. Remember how the radiating thing? So the vanishing point, all the lines that are going to go through it radiate. So they all have to converge. One line might hit it and another one might not. Those are called divergent, right? So that means you screwed up. So here, for this, you want to include that back corner, right? So you know that one line goes that way, the bottom line goes to the same vanishing point, right? Somewhere on the horizon line, and then splits, and then the other one goes to a different point. Yeah, you can always readjust the angles as you see fit in the proportional widths. So it's okay to be messy. And then this one is going to go to the same vanishing point as the wall, right? So those can't diverge, right? So they have to go to the same vanishing point. If this one were at that angle, it would diverge. So this has to roughly feel like it goes to that. Same with that, right? Then, same thing here, right? They have to feel like they're going to converge.
This one is a demonstration. And being a demonstration, you observe and do like it's done. So just a reminder for those that did not get their pencils, their sheets of papers, get them and get going with the demo.
So at some point, this line, this line, this line, and this line, they all have to meet at a vanishing point somewhere on the field, right? So if you want to keep yourself organized, you can sort of draw these vanishing points. And what's more important is the feel of it than the actual total accuracy. Then, you can kind of do your thumb measurement, right? And get the rough height of the desks back there. And whenever they come out, you see the top. So you get desks. And you have a whole line of desks here. So you can just sort of quickly subdivide them. Whatever. Then you draw through them and find the back so that you can make sure that they exist in this physical space, right? And you don't want to intersect the point behind this line, right? Because that's going through the wall. Yeah. Sometimes you see that there's in video games, 3D renderings. So you just make sure that it goes down far enough that it exists on the floor plane, right? And then for the group up here, you just sort of subdivide every once in a while, make your little half marks, make sure they get a little further apart as they get further away from the vanishing point. And then you just kind of
Oh, Daddy, one, come on.
That's an advert.
Let's start this Chinese kid.
Sorry for that. It was an advert.
make them radiate. And this is what happens when you include too much. So I put the vanishing points on the page. So now, if I were really connecting these vanishing points, they would have to go like that, right? So create this huge, crazy distortion. You see that? So to keep it comfortable, you kind of have to go with what feels right. So this doesn't really, having a grid actually radiate out of that point doesn't feel right to me. You know?
For the lines, like going this way, do you want to curve them at all, or just keep them straight?
Curved lines are actually 5-point perspective, the fisheye effect.
I was saying because this kind of is kind of curved, so that means that has to be curved too, since it's.
Well, I wouldn't curve them. Your ideal is straight, right?
Yeah.
For this sort of thing. And then when you knock in details, right? So let's say you figure this little column is up here. See that? And then when you want to knock in, say, the window, you figure that, it's roughly centered in there. The way you find the center is you draw an X, just like in a square. And then that's your center. And perspective is space. So let's say that there was actually you could create a little in the center. And this is kind of why you want to do the two color thing, right? It gets a little confusing. So the ceiling grid, if I stick with that point, that's going to be really weird. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of only start to get vertical way out here. So I kind of control the distortion a little bit. Because if you follow the rules, it's going to look really, really weird. So then for the rest of the grid, you just kind of do your lines out like that.
So we're not doing your points anymore? Your viewpoints?
Well, I included too much in the setup.
Okay.
Over here especially. So here it's going to look really, really weird, different. But what you want is just to make sure that each set of lines is going to converge somewhere. And accuracy of sticking to vanishing points is secondary to the feel and the drawing. Okay. So
For practice, what you do is you put the two vanishing points on the page, right? Put one here and one here. And you just use the room as sort of inspiration. So you're practicing following the rules of perspective, right? So thinking through the drawing. That
I just not have the point. So I was like, why?
what? The line is the jury. And then with the you divide your and then draw the green to the point or from that. Yeah. Include my to and be that you know, super class. And then if you do it outside, right, you're looking at a huge gigantic building. You got vanishing points. You make a building. You say maybe there's a big door in the middle, so you figure out where the door is. Merge there. And maybe got a whole bunch of like windows. They go to the they go to the event center, and the interior is the
Okay, people are saying it's not that clear. So I've given the link there, then you will follow it up. The video from the source has got low volume. So you will follow it up in your gadgets, and then you'll be able to draw and share your from the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp, I want us to go to the 3D design, and our subtopic for the 3D design is you, the student. I expect you to design the 3D dimension artwork activities for our primary children. Okay. When designing 3D artwork activities, we have a term that we use, which we call assemblance. A term which we call assemblance. Assemblance, assemblage, refers to three-dimensional collages in which children creatively assemble an array of objects. Construction and sculpture are similar terms referring to three-dimensional art that may or may not resemble anything. So there is no resemblance over here. Technically, children can also sculpt with clay from a river. Young children are aware that objects are composed of parts and pieces. A table needs a top supported by legs, right? People have a trunk that supports their hand, right? And that is where the limbs will rest. Cars have a body supported by a frame of wheels, correct? Most of the children's three-dimension creations will require some sort of fixative or fastener. Some common types include brands, clothespins, glue sticks, metal fasteners, paper clips, rubber bands, stapler, tape, twists, ties, white glue, wire, yarn, etc. Some of the three-dimensional activities you can do with children include container creations, egg carton art, where you use cartons to do your artwork, wooden wonders, tinfoil treasures, tinfoil sculpture, plastic foam and toothpick sculpture, hanger hand, spool sculpture, paper sculpture, paper strip sculpture, stuffed newspaper sculpture, totem pole sculpture, soap suds sculpture, eyes sculpture, wire wonders, scene in a box, sword sculpture, glue overs, 3D junk collage, paper mache, or some people call it paper mache, stuffed bag, pinata, casting capers, squeezer sculpture, balloon creatures, etc. Now, having said that, I want to take you to the very first video where you're going to learn something on three-dimension artwork activities for children in the lower primary. And I'm taking you to a video that you'll be able to watch so that these things that I'm talking about can start making sense to you. Sometimes when you hear things, they may not make sense, but when you watch and follow with what you've heard, then it makes understanding a lot easier. So I'm taking you to the second video on 3D artwork. And as I keep telling you, watch and learn, because you're observing live demonstrations that follow my verbal explanations. Okay? Here we go. Our first video on 3D. I want to pause right there so that you can clearly figure out that was a 3D printed sculpture. It's printed, it's not handmade, neither machine made. It's printed. Yeah? Printed from a printer. the way you print your things from in the 4 pages. When I tell you to bring an assignment, a typed one, you definitely have to print it. So that which you've just watched is a 3D print. It is printed. Okay? Now I'm taking you to the second video. I'm taking you to the second video. So that was 3D print. All right. The second video, here it comes. That's an advert.
All right, I'm going to show you how to use paper to make a paper sculpture. So a sculpture is different than just an...
About sculptures. Now, some of the sculptures that I've mentioned, she's going to demonstrate. She's starting with a paper sculpture. Okay? Watch. And as I keep saying, learn. Watch, learn. Observe, learn. Observe and know how to do it. Learn the skill so that when you're doing paper sculptures with your children, you don't go like, okay, I had paper sculpture. So what is a paper sculpture? Watch and learn.
Normal two-dimensional artwork. So normally when we create a picture or a collage, it might be just flat, like this piece of paper. It goes one way and it goes another way. So it goes 2 directions. But 3-dimensional artwork goes 3 different ways. It goes side to side, top to bottom, and it also goes up. So if you were to walk around the picture, it would look different from each side because it goes up into space too. So we're going to create a paper sculpture just using long strips of rectangles, and I'm going to show you how to glue them on paper. So we're going to start by just making a simple structure that goes up. So I'm going to put glue just on one side, one spot like that. So I'm just putting it right on the end like that. And then I'm going to put it on my paper wherever I want it to start, and I'm going to fold it down, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll help hold it in place. Then I'm going to put glue on the other end. So on the side that's facing the paper still, I'm going to put glue on the other end. Just that little spot on the end again. And then I'm going to put this closer to the beginning where I glued the first time. See how the closer I get, the taller it gets. And when I go further out, it gets shorter. So you can decide where you want it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Hold it down and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if it doesn't seem to be staying, then I might have to count a little longer, hold it a little more. But you can see now, it goes side to side, up and down, and it's tall. It sticks up off my paper. So that's the first way you can do a shape on your paper sculpture. The next way I'm going to show you, you take and you do the same beginning. You start with a spot of glue, and I hold that down and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to take...
The counting is meant to give time for the glue that is being used to enforce the sticking. Because sometimes if you just press going, it will come out very fast. So depending on the quality of the glue you're using, then you can press and go or press for some time if it's wet, to give it time to dry. Just like the shoe glue you see what do we call them? The shoemakers use, okay? The shoe cobras, yes. So continue watching.
And this time, instead of just squishing it closer like this, I'm going to take and I'm going to turn it upside down. See how it makes a loop? And then I'm going to put glue on the bottom side here and do the same thing. Oh, look at that, it popped off. I guess I didn't hold it long enough. So I'm going to hold that side and count again. Make sure it sticks. And then I'm going to put a little glue on the bottom of this. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to hold both sides to count this time so that they both stay. And I'm going to go 1, 2.
And also note, because you've been doing it, this activity with raw primary children, this counting is very important because you have to guide them on how long to hold. So it's you to tell them count 10 times, count up to 10, then let it go. You have to give clear guidance. And you can see she's not taking chances, that she's demonstrating to Andox go and teach the children in the lower primary. No, she's doing it the way you are expected to go and do it. Okay, there is no Sharon, Cherotich, there is no one waiting. On this screen, I cannot see anyone waiting. Who is waiting? Sharon. Who is outside? You are 24 in class. You are 22, sorry. Who do you have in mind as waiting, Sharon? Because there is no one on my screen. Ameshaingia. Because there is no one that is waiting. I'm admitting you. I'm logged in with Tunganjek, so I'm admitting as you come. There was no need for that, really. Anyway, let us continue. So I was saying that you need to keep counting to make sure that children will know how long to hold, okay? There, we can proceed.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if they come off again, I'll put a little glue back on again and hold them again to see. Now you can see I made sort of a spiral shape this time. The next one's a little tricky because you have to do some folding before you start. So you take your plain paper and you're going to fold like this. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to fold the other way, like this. See how it goes back and forth? And then I fold the other way. And they go back and forth. Fold one way, and then I fold the other. And then I fold one way, and then I fold it back. And I just keep going back and forth, until I get all the way to the end.
Back and forth, all the way to the end. Now, those are 3 types of paper sculptures that she has demonstrated to you. So you already have 3 activities that she has given you ideas on how you can do paper sculpture with children. So you can do those 3 types of sculpture work with papers. And you continue modifying and being more creative, advancing on it, scaffolding on it, making it complex from a simple start point like the one she's showing you to making complex paper sculptures. Okay? We continue learning.
And then when I open it up, it looks like a spring. So now I can glue my 2 ends down, and it'll look like little spikes sticking up. If I put them closer, they'll stand up higher.
Like a star?
If I put them further apart, they'll stand up shorter. So I'm going to put glue on the part that touches the paper, and glue on the part that touches the paper. And then I'm going to hold those 2 ends down where I want them, and I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So those are some really simple ways to get started. You can also think about different ways you can put the paper down. If you glue one side, figure out where you want to put the other side, and maybe you could come up with some designs of your own. You can also think about how they can go around each other. So maybe I want to put one through here and glue it down like that.
Or even up one.
Or maybe I want to try gluing it around like
that.
this and making it into a circle.
I would go for that one.
Or I could try going under this one and looping it around like that.
Yes.
So you can figure out lots of different ways that you can use the paper to make different designs by gluing the ends in different spots. So you can see how it can make all different kinds of designs just by gluing the ends in different ways. So now you can try. Just remember, when you put the glue down, you hold those ends and count to 10 and fill your...
Yes, and they will also decide how they want to sophisticate theirs or how simple they want to make it. And remember, like she says, you are gluing it, so you have to make sure the counting is long enough to make whatever you're sticking stick.
Whole paper up with different colors and different designs. It'll make it even more interesting. Go ahead and try it out.
Yes, that you can try at your own given time. Now that one is paper sculpture. All right. I'm taking you to the done video. You can see they are very short videos. So I'm taking you to the done video. And on this done video, again, like I keep saying, it's watching and learning. Art is very, very practical. So demonstrations are critical. And you being online, the demos that you can go through are the live demos from the international world. Okay? So watch and learn. This video is on paper origami. I know you're asking what is an origami. You will watch it so you know what it is. And it is a 3D. Remember, whatever we are doing here, for all these are 3D activities. Yeah? 3D activities. And most of them are on paper. See how she's folding it? And you can see the folding. This is a demonstration, so follow it through. She's making a paper origami. I've typed in the term origami for you there. Fold it in a half vertical. Fold the sides on an angle, not passing the middle line. Yeah, like she's doing. Turn it over. fold a small triangle on the bottom of both sides and fold it up. Fold it in half and open. Voila! There you go. So you can make as many as you want to make and combine them and make a big origami image. Then I'll take you to the fourth video. I'm giving you ideas that will open your mind into other things that you can do. And I'm already sure from that origami, you're already thinking of the things you can do with paper crafts and how you can make your origamis with them and so on and so forth. This is a 3D video. This one is a cardboard roll art. You remember I mentioned variety of examples. I cannot literally give you a video for all of them. You can also Google each of those that I mentioned and get a video for it for your more exposure and more learning. So this one is 3D cardboard roll art. Again, watch and learn. As you can see them there, tissue paper roll, paintbrush, glue gun, scissors, canvas, the exterior let it dry. Paint the inside of the second piece. 6 blue coats of paint. One, the white, black and pen and cut. You can cut 4 or even 5 pieces. Remember you painted the 5. So yeah, you cut the 5 pieces. Remember you painted the exterior and the interior. The interior has the small layers of paint. One, 2 blue layers. Okay, you cut all of them. This was 10. This one, you cut all of them in 5 pieces. That's it. Arrange the pen and glue. Okay. Arrange, design, and glue. Arrange your design on the canvas and use hot glue or strong glue to fasten it to your canvas. Like this demonstration. If you don't have a glue gun, get the liquid glue you get from the shop. You can do the same thing. So whether the glue is unbalanced or any other glue, the idea is to make sure that it's glued to the surface where you want to stick the surface to the next canvas. Yes, enjoy your day. That is it. Okay, short video on the roll art. Then I'll take you to the next video. And the next video I want you to watch That is video number 5. What time are we? Okay, this one is just a short one. That's an advert, so skip it and go to our video. This is a demo by a lady, a lecturer called Dolly. So follow the demo by Dolly. She wants you to see the end result to know what she's doing. So I'm not going to preempt. Watch the demo and see what she comes up with. In the long run, you know what she has done. That is glue that she's using to stick the papers together. Okay. She's cutting strips of papers and using them to make designs. What do you think she has made? Your guess is as good as mine. Tupunya, what do you think she has done? You can type in. Sharon, what do you think she has done? She's making us stick-ons. Oh, we are watching, we don't know. Yeah, we'll see the end result and know what, and decide what it is. And Derry, what do you think she's doing? Ida, what do you think she's doing? Are you watching? Are you there or you're not there? Ta-da! That is it. See that? Make flowers, flower bases. They are flower stick-ons like some I have on the wall. I don't know if I can be able to show you that. I don't know. I'll take some after class. So now our time is up, and that is it on our 3-dimension artwork. So I'm stopping to present. That is, we are done with 2-dimension artwork and 3-dimension artwork. So any question from today's lesson? You can unmute and ask. Comment? Any comments? Yes, I'm going to take an image and send it on WhatsApp. Okay, I'll do that and I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. Am I still presenting? No, I stopped presenting. So then that was Tupunya. Tupunya told us from the start that the mic he uses does not have the voice function. So the others followed you. They also said theirs don't have the voice function, so no one speaks. I hope you're doing your part 2. I really hope you're doing your part 2. Perfect. And then we are going to, okay, I want to get these dates. There is always a date scheduled for part 1 and for part 2. So I think if people are giving cut 1, it means the cut 1 time is almost or it's past. So I will set a cut today and I'll send it to you on the LMS. It will come in as cut 1. It will be 10 marks. So you'll be able to do it. So I'll send it to, I'll work on it. I'll set one today. So tomorrow you can do it and we get done with this. So it will expire tomorrow. I'll set the card, open it for tomorrow, and it will expire by the close of business tomorrow. So then, having said that, I'm done. Enjoy your lunch. See you next week on Monday. Any questions?
Yes.
Anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Ni takeaway ama ni ile ya time ishaekwa?
The cut one will be a 16 cut. I've sent. I'll post it on the LMS. It will be open tomorrow and it will expire tomorrow by close of business.
Madam, that
The
time
cut two that I already the cut two that I gave you is the assignment that you're already working on. But tomorrow's cut will be a sit in. It will be available only tomorrow when you're time. Click on the cut, it will appear as cut one. Click it, open, do the cut. When you open the cut, don't consult your books, don't start reading, don't start doing any monkey business. When you open the cut, concentrate with doing the cut. It's either you know or you don't know, and then you'll be done. If you start consulting your friends, your notes, your Mokenyans, the system will log you out and I will know you're stealing. That system is sharper than you. So you cannot steal. Okay? Yes. So if someone comes to tell me, oh, I was told to come and do that after 2 days, after 1 week, you are deep, you're stealing. And the system caught you and could not allow you to proceed. And I will respect the system's decision. So if the system, for whatever reasons, does not let you do your cut and finish, then I also agree with the system because it's sharper than you. All right. Any other questions? There were many people that wanted to ask questions. Okay, Tupunya. Good. So tomorrow the cat will be there. Any other questions? Sentero? Ida?
No, no question.
Sawa sawa. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you've learned something on 2-dimension and 3-dimension artwork. Remember, this is CBC. When you go out of the market, these are the things that will be in the curriculum. These are the things that you'll be doing with the children. And remember, they'll be doing a lot of learning online like you're doing. So it is double benefit for you. Doing it online and then getting the exposure from international experts as well as from your lecturer. So then I will end the call. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. I will share my stick-on flowers on the WhatsApp after class. This comp is hanging. Why are you hanging? End the call. You can leave at your own pleasure. My comp has hanged. So you can leave on your own. Nimekataa kumtoa. I've come to ask you to end to leave the class because this video is prolonged because of you and you. Just leave so that the video can cut. It has unnecessary details because of you. Just leave the call. Achieng, leave the call.